Hey, what's going on, everybody? Today, we are going to talk about everybody's favorite subject, marketing for deals. So marketing for off-market real estate deals. And this is like the big question, right? How do I get more leads? How do I get more deals? How do I find better leads, like deeper discounts? How do I buy better? How do I get in front of the right people? And the biggest thing that I've noticed over time, and I've been direct marketing to sellers for the last 5 or 6 years, is it changes a lot, right? It's always variable. The cheese is always moving. So what I want to do today is I want to talk about what's working for us right now and where I think that we're going potentially, and some of the changes that we've made recently with the coronavirus in the last 3 or 4 months, and what I've seen and noticed inside the mastermind group with all the other people that are spending, tens and even hundreds of thousands of dollars in marketing per month, per year. So we're going to do over $3 million in gross profit this year through our deals. And we do a ton of different marketing channels. And what I did before this presentation was I really dug in to see where our deals are coming from right now. Not like 6 months ago, not a year ago, right now, currently in September of 2020. So what I found was it's not as specific as it was years ago, if not even 6 and 9 months ago. I couldn't say that we found 60% of our deals through direct mail or 50% of our deals from online advertising. And what that made me do was it made me dig a little bit deeper to figure out what's going on. So if you're watching this video or listening to this podcast or wherever you're seeing this, there are some different areas, like you're in some bucket. You are either somebody who doesn't have a lot of money that is just getting started and you're trying to find that one marketing channel for you, or you're doing multiple different marketing channels to figure out what's the best for you to do and where to go and get ahead of the game. So for me, my direct mail source has been my bread and butter ever since I started. I was able to find deals that gave me 7 to 1 returns, up to 15 to 1 returns as I got started 5, 6 years ago. That doesn't help us today, right? But what it does allow me to do is use the past data to look at future performance and where I think we're going. So what I found with direct mail is recently what we've done is we have moved from mailing to absentee owners and owner occupants because of the coronavirus. Owner occupants don't seem to be as interested in selling today. They still want to sell, but they don't want to sell now. So what we did was we put a lot of our efforts into the absentee mailers and really focused on the folks who have tenants that aren't paying rent right now, potentially. So, and there's a moratorium on evictions and all these things are getting more and more frustrated. So when you're marketing, try to put yourself in your avatar's shoes. So what does your avatar look like? For us, the absentee-owned avatar is typically potentially somebody who inherited a house, somebody who had something happen, some event that happened that they were given the house, right? They don't live there and they don't know what to do with it. Or it's typically a landlord that is either tired landlord, is done with the property, is getting fed up. Has to be some event that happened, right? Even in that landlord's life to say, I'm ready to sell this property. It's just not what I want to do. So try to figure out what they are, where they're at, and meet them where they are at this time. And as far as direct mail goes, I just want to get in front of them as often as possible. So we've moved from owner occupied to absentee owned homes. That's one of the transitions that we made. The second is a little bit about messaging. I don't think the messaging is like super important, like a lot of people might teach or talk about. I think you need a call to action, not a lot of words, not a lot of comment, not a lot of things on the card, right? And I like postcards because I can get in front of 2 to 3 times as many people with the same amount of money, and they're actually going to see the message. They have to see it to throw it away or put it in the recycling bin. So that's my thoughts on postcards versus letters. The letter, they actually have to open it to get upset with me, to see that it's me that's sending it to them. So the messaging on there, I want some sort of call to action, some sort of urgent notice, something that brings their attention there, and a big phone number that, or an email or a email address or a website, like whatever your call to action is, however you want them to come back to you. I want to talk to them on the phone. I want my people to talk to them on the phone, so I want them to call me. I do think what's interesting recently, as I was looking at our data for marketing, what I found is we want multiple approaches for these sellers to research us and get a hold of us. So before, I was actually highly against putting our website on our postcard because I didn't want them going to our website. I wanted them to talk to us on the phone. I didn't want them to do a whole bunch of research, have to input something, go find somebody else, Google us, find a competitor, things like that. I really just wanted them to call us. Well, they're going to Google your company name. They're going to Google your address. If they want to do the research, they're going to do it. So about 2 years ago, I broke down and said, fine, let's put our website on there. So now what I'm finding is it's a multi-pronged approach that's happening. So even if you don't have a lot of money to do pay-per-click ads or Google ads, Facebook ads, any of those kind of things, you can still put your organic website on there and grab leads that way. So what I'm finding is we're getting more organic traffic from our website, which is likely driven by our direct mail or some other form of marketing that we're doing, and not just SEO, like a lot of people think, is they're actually coming from a postcard or somewhere else. So when it comes to marketing, as I look at our deal tracker and I look and see what's come across, we have a pretty good mix of deals now. We have pay-per-click marketing from Google. We have our organic website, which is just somebody putting a lead in or calling us on our website phone number. We have direct mail. We have networking and referrals. So we have actual referrals from previous clients, real estate agents, other wholesalers in the area that can't move a property potentially, and built this kind of networking opportunity that's there that doesn't cost us any money. And also follow-up. So we are also doing some, before I move on to this, what I want to talk about is I want to talk about this ecosystem that you're creating. So when you're in marketing, you really are creating this, like, what does your footprint look like in all of these places? So I've coached some people before who said, my direct mail is not working. My pay-per-click is going through the roof. I'm doing amazing at pay-per-click. So they stopped doing direct mail. And what they found was that their pay-per-click sites weren't doing as well as they were doing before. Well, the reason for that is because when they were sending direct mail, those people were Googling them and finding their pay-per-click site and clicking on it and putting in their information. So when they stopped driving traffic to that pay-per-click site from their mail, their leads on their pay-per-click went down, and they couldn't figure out why that was. It was because we are in an ecosystem. We are building our footprint and driving traffic from multiple different areas. Now, if you're brand new to real estate investing and you're brand new to marketing, direct to seller marketing, I'm not telling you to go do pay-per-click, go do Facebook, do direct mail, text message, cold call, do all of these things and just do a little bit of it. I do think that you need to go all in on your marketing channel, but figure out where else will they find you? What else are they going to see? Build out your footprint. So even if that's just an organic website that you create that somebody can go find you there. And what are they going to look up? Maybe it's a Facebook page also that doesn't take a lot of money to invest in, takes a little bit of time to start building it out. You know, what do you put on there? Some pictures, some information about you, some credibility items, and figure out what your footprint is going to look like and then start building it out. If you're more advanced and you're doing a lot of deals and you have multiple marketing channels, is think about how all of that drives your footprint. All of that, all the things that you're doing are driving to each other. So to take it one step further, what I found, the reason why all of this came up as I was doing my research on our marketing is because we're also doing text messaging, we're sending some voicemails, we're cold calling people, and we're doing all of these things, and we're figuring out how it all plays into each other, how you can use all of these different channels to kind of manipulate and maneuver that person where you want them to go, and how you want them to reach out to how you want them to receive your message, your call to action, right? So for me, I don't like to talk on the phone. If you called me or sent me a ringless voicemail, I'm not going to call you back. But if you text me, I'm probably going to respond. There might be somebody else who's a little bit older who doesn't want to send a text message, might not even know how or be interested in that, but will answer their phone or call you back on a ringless voicemail. So you've really got to test and adjust and work this ecosystem, really figure out what you're doing, sit down and think about it and build out a marketing plan to go forward and how you're going to do it. So what I wrote down is some of the lessons that I've learned over the past few months, researching this and figuring out where we're going and what's working right now, is to be in more than one place. So don't put all your eggs in one basket, kind of drive people into different areas and have a footprint. Really know what your footprint looks like and figure out how are you intentionally doing that going forward. These sellers are looking for you. They're asking questions. They're trying to figure out what's happening and what's working and what's not working, right? How they want to be talked to. And then if you don't have a lot of money, figure out what are you going to do? And for me, my recommendation is you just grab a couple of zip codes that are producing at the highest volume and you figure out how to dive really deep into those areas and do a deal or two and then start building out from there. if you're experienced and you have a lot of money, then if you're doing mail, you've got to also be doing pay-per-click and some online marketing and advertising. We're somewhere around, like, the majority of our deals come from those two channels, and it's likely that our mail is driving the online ads and clicks and things like that. It's just a way to push people over to us to figure out who we are and where to look. And so you've really got to think about that. What are you doing in that space, and how are you? If you're not doing pay-per-click ads and you're spending a ton of money on Google, on direct mail, what's probably happening is they might be finding your card, Googling something, and then going to a competitor's site. You're probably actually fueling a lot of our deals and a lot of our leads, especially really motivated leads, right? I love the online leads. We don't get a ton of them, but they definitely come more motivated. They're looking for you, right? You're not looking for them. So with all of this said, marketing it's a constantly evolving and adjusting thing. You're going to have to test things, and you have to track really closely. We talk a lot about KPIs at Seven Figure Flipping. We talk a lot about tracking your numbers, knowing your numbers. And the reason for it is to determine how things are working. But what you also have to realize is that a lot of these things are fed by something else. Like if they are Googling you and it's a PPC lead, it's a pay-per-click lead, and you do that deal, you've got to sit at the table with that seller. The biggest tip that I can give you is sit at the table with that seller and ask them how they found out about you. What was the keyword? You can look in your Google Analytics to find out the keyword that they search. Did they search your company name already? Or did they search buy my house fast in your city? Like those are two different searches. If somebody Googled your company name, they found out about you somewhere else. And so when you talk to them, and I've sat down at that same exact table and asked the seller, how'd you find out about us? And they said, I got a postcard from you. And it was a Google lead in our system. And if I didn't do that, I would have had no idea, and I would have thought it was a pay-per-click lead. You've really got to dig all the way down to the true source of these to figure out your marketing. So why am I talking in such kind of generalities and marketing and things like that? Is everything is changing right now. There's lots of different channels. Things are changing. Things are adjusting. There's going to be a new opportunity coming in the next few months, the next 6 months, 12 months, year and a half, who knows? Like, it's coming. It is going to become a buyer's market, not a seller's market again, right? We're already seeing that. It's moving. Right now, there's hardly any inventory as I give this presentation. There's like no inventory. Prices are up higher than ever. And if you have a deal and you're flipping a house right now, you can sell it for top dollar. It's just the way it is. It's not going to be like that for a very long time going forward. So what are we doing inside my company right now? And what should you be doing inside your company? You should be trying to figure out where we're going. And how do you do that? Like, how do we figure out where we're going? As a visionary of companies and the top entrepreneurs, they start looking at the future. They're not looking at the present and the past to dictate. They're looking at the future. Where are we going? And to do that, what I do is I surround myself with other people who were coming up with ideas, and we're thinking about, okay, if this happens, then what's going to happen? If this happens, then what's going to happen? If there's a ton of foreclosures and they just flood the market and it becomes easy to find deals and it becomes a buyer's market, right? And now we can just pick. What are we going to, we're wholesalers that market directly to sellers. What are we going to do? What's the plan? Like, how are we going to figure that out? If the prices start going down because of that, because the market's flooded with foreclosures, what are we going to do as the wholesaler, right? If the market's flooded and anybody can find deals, the prices go down. Now the flippers aren't buying from us as much as they were before. They're going to buy from REOs, banks, brokers, things like that. Maybe a little bit from us, but we can't dictate the price. We can't, make bidding wars and all this stuff and sell them as like we can right now. So how do we figure that out? So what I did was I asked my good friend Ryan Smith, and I just had him on the podcast with me on the Seven Figure Flipping podcast, and I asked him to come to Flip Hacking Live and talk about what he thinks. This guy runs a marketing company called Leadsmith. He does marketing for hundreds of real estate investors all over the country, me included, really good friend of mine. And I asked him what he thinks the top marketing channels going forward are. Like, what does he think if he could project 6 months, 12 months out? What is the top marketing channel gonna be? Because all we do is we sit around and we talk about what's worked the last 6 months or the last year or the last 2 years. And we spend so much time trying to figure out what other people are doing to get deals. What we're not doing as real estate investors is trying to figure out, like, how can we train ourselves now for how we probably are going to get deals 3 to 6 months from now? And if we can start doing that, like the big epiphany that I want you guys from watching this video or listening to this podcast is, what do you need to do right now to get prepared for 3, 6, 12 months from now? Like, stop worrying about what everybody else was doing and start worrying about what you need to be doing and how you can train yourself, how you can learn that thing, or find the person who already knows how to do that thing and plug into them and start predicting what's going to happen so we could try these new marketing channels. And when the cheese moves, we're like there ready to pounce on it, right? And we're not, because what I find what always happens is we talk about 6 months, 1 year ago, 2 years ago, and we're constantly catching up. And a lot of times we're too late. We're too late to the party. The money's already gone. The money's already been collected by everybody. And this is how business works in general, right? You can't be too late. So I asked Ryan Smith to come to Flip Hacking Live, which is our event in October. Obviously, it's virtual. Anybody can attend. You need to get your tickets. If you haven't got your tickets, go to fliphackinglive.com and grab your tickets. But I asked Ryan to come and talk to us about what he thinks is going to be coming up. Like, what are the top channels that he believes are coming up, and how to learn those things. Like, what do you need to know about those and start building the foundation now? So I have some ideas, and I know that him and I talked offline a little bit about it, but I'm going to save this for October. Like, his presentation is probably going to be one of the ones he presented last year on niche marketing, and he gave away the farm. Everything that was niche, all the little tips and tricks that he does to find huge deals for us. We just did 2 deals with him. One of them was a $45,000 fee. The other one is almost $50,000 fee. This guy finds really, really good deals in our area. And these are deals that we weren't even marketing to. And we have a huge direct mail list. We market online. We did not find these at all. They weren't on our list. They didn't show up in our database. They were driven from his marketing. Really niche down stuff. So I know that this presentation is going to be massive for everyone that attends Flip Hacking Live. So make sure that you get your ticket. Like, this is a quick down and dirty with marketing. I think what you need to do is you need to figure out where we're going, not where we've been or where we are right now, is figure out where we're going and figure out how to get there first. The people that were the first ones to start text messaging, we're seeing a ton of deals, and then it becomes hard, right? More people jump in, more people join into the movement, and then next thing you know, it becomes mainstream and you got to go somewhere else. Like, when I was doing direct mail 5 years ago, I just went bigger than anybody else in my city, and I was making $7 for every dollar, $15 for every dollar on some channels, and I was cleaning up. Right? And now those margins are starting to go down, 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 down. We still do direct mail. We still make money from it, but the margins are way tighter than they've ever been. And I'll be the first one to admit that they are. And so we have to figure out more creative ways. So now we're combining direct mail with text messaging, with voicemails, with grabbing the phone number, skip trades, like hitting them in 3 or 4 different areas where we can put in a little bit cheaper methods to get in front of them. And then also add on pay-per-click and Facebook and some of these different things that we're doing to produce the same amount of deal volume that we were doing last year, the year before that, the year before that. So it's not like we're doing 10 times the deals. We're just trying to figure out how to do the same number of deals and squeeze more money out of each one. So we're having to get more creative. And I know all of you out there are looking for the next, like, what's the next marketing thing? Don't be late. Show up to this event. I gave Ryan Smith the massive challenge in about 30 minutes at this event, Flip Hacking Live, to share with you the things that he thinks and he knows, like, where we're going. And I'll tell you, there's not somebody better out there that could prepare us for this than him. He is in the trenches. He runs data and numbers for lots of different real estate investors at a very high level. So I'm pumped up about this. I'm really excited. Don't wait. Get your ticket right now. Go to fliphackinglive.com, and I'll see you guys at the event. And I'm really looking forward to this. I think that there's a new opportunity coming. There's a wave of something coming. We are definitely moving towards a buyer's market, and we got to be smart. We got to be smart about our marketing. And marketing is the thing. There's going to be a couple presentations that we give on marketing, where to find deals, and then how to maximize those deals with the sales process and the negotiation and all those things. So I'll see you guys at Flip Hacking Live this year. And I hope you enjoyed this podcast, this video, wherever you're consuming this content. And hopefully subscribe, like it, leave us a comment, rating, review. If you really enjoyed it, take a screenshot, share it on your social media at Bill Allen REI. And I will see you guys on the next one. Bye.